Tara and I were drawn to each other because we're lawyers. So here's the surprise. Here is the surprise. You don't even need to talk. You just radiate it. We found each other. You just find each other. You're just radiating it. You don't need to talk. You don't need to talk. No, it's strange. No, nothing is strange. It just is. So what's the learning from that? It just is. I think from our discussion, being legal, as Mukhtar was saying, we have to exist in the here and now. And sometimes when you have to exist in the here and now in order to achieve certain things, it's maybe difficult to understand that the mind is not limited, that you can do both. You can exist in the here and now and also have the freedom to have your dream and your vision and exist to a larger potential at the same time, because there is no sort of limitation on your spirit. Yeah. So that was the discussion I think we were having, yeah?
Sure.
And how would the law be if we were all operating from love and integrity? And that's the question that the legal minds need to address. What would life be like, and what would the law, as we have constructed it for our socialization and all that, but what if the law were completely grounded in love and integrity? What is the difference that we would have in the world?
I think the discussion that we were looking at was that Mukhtar felt that he was more limited in the here and now because of the necessity. So we were discussing that although you may have that kind of mindset to be in the here and now because of who you are, we were sharing that it is possible for both. You don't have to say, well, I'm very much a person who is limited to the here and now. You can be both and expand into that part of ourselves. So that was...
Yeah, I agree. Because there is no future and there is no past, there is only the now. And so you can radiate your potentiality in all direction of time and in all periods of time. So choose.
What I felt from what you've exposed me or re-exposed me to so far is metaphorically you've lifted my head and said it's not about the immediacy.
Yes, that's what it is.
It's far more boundless than you imagine it to be.
Yes.
All these things around you are empowering and not limiting.
And not limiting. Absolutely. And when you come from that space source of love and integrity, it opens up the sphere even wider. So how are you being? How am I being? Am I operating from love and integrity? And if I'm not, what is the impact and what is the legacy I'm leaving for humankind?
I'm just fascinated by what you're saying, Althea, because as you say that, immediately 15 years ago, maybe even more than that, my favourite book was 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And 6 years ago, I went to do the passion test. Sometimes when I'm taking people through the passion test, it's I say to them, whatever you want to write down, And sometimes it will be start with the end in mind, and other times it will be what I need to prioritise in the here and now. But the prioritising of the here and now is also taking me to that start with the end in mind. And the end in mind, I think, is from what Neslyn is saying, just keeps expanding. So the here and now keeps changing.
Exactly.
That was what we were discussing. That's what I was saying to you, that, when you have a case and you have a client before you, if I'm going to court to do advocacy, I have my order in mind. The order that I want to come away with, I have it in mind, I've created it, I'm seeing it, I'm not really looking sideways. I'll be flexible and expand into whatever happens when I get there. But even at my office, I'm in the here and now. I'm learning, what the client requires, what I need to put over. But I have a specific goal, and when I get there, you just expand it. So.
Because you see, if you read Greg Braden, the God Code, the God within you, the God within you is God the generator, God the order, and God the destroyer. You can do whatever you want to do. And that's why it's so important to operate from a principle of integrity. Because when we do not operate from that principle of integrity, what we do, we destroy. And how are we destroying humankind? From the space from which we operate.
For me personally, is when I consciously find myself upholding the belief of fear, and I find myself emitting fear, I know that it will ripple outward, so I have to stop that. But it's all the time, because it's all around, so I feed into it as well.
Yes, exactly.
May I just give like a little light illustration? Recently, as you know, my mentor is coming over, and prior to him coming out, all nervy. And I do this all the time. And you think, oh, you want to look your best, and so on and so forth. And I thought to myself, I bet I'll get a bump on my nose or something. And I did.
Cancel, clear, cancel.
I did. No, as soon as I thought about it, I thought, you think that because we were going to be taking pictures. So I thought, I just hope I get a bump on my nose or something. It did. I knew I was creating it as soon as the thought came to me. So I started to say, oh no, go away, no. So it didn't come as big as it normally would.
No. But there's a technology to that. There's a technology to that. Whenever that comes, say, cancel clear.
I'm saying I did. But by
but
entertaining
no,
the thought.
You said go away.
Yes,
you need to say to the...
Yes.
Are you coachable?
Yes.
Lawyer, are you coachable?
Yes, very much so, as you know.
So you say cancel, clear, delete. Cancel, clear, delete. It's the computer that you are. Cancel, clear, delete. You must delete it. Don't just say go away. If you say go away, it goes over there. Go somewhere else. Cancel, clear, delete.
Okay.
Neslyn, is it also then to do with the emotion that you put into it?
Absolutely.
Not just the thought, because we have so many thoughts.
Yes.
But surely what creates the
agree
reality
with you.
Yes,
is
exactly.
that when we're
Exactly.
passionate about the bad or the good, is that
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yes. And you see, so many of us talk about decisions that we make and say, we are logical and we're straightforward. Every decision comes from a place of emotion. We need to remember that. Every decision is sparked by an emotion. So, what's your mood? Making sense? Well, I am going to skip the business about the DNA in space because I think I've already said enough about that. But what I really want to show you is the YouTube experiment. No, I don't want to go there. I want to go back. Can you hear it?
No. Light, loud.